Hello, Blitz fans of all ages. It's me, Plumcastle, here with a review on the new tech tree line for America, the YOHs. So, of course, there are 4 tanks here, and we will be starting with the lowest tier, the Mark 7 YOH, which is the tier 7. So, you can see right up front here, it's fairly low armor on the front plate. However, the turret is what I find makes these tanks quite strong. Also, you can see there if you load HE with most tanks that you can get into the back, as per usual with American heavy tanks, they do tend to have weaker backs. I know that's the case with a lot of tanks, but it seems that particularly the American line does that. Now you can see there's quite a large hatch, which you'll see in a moment can be very good when going against these in a face-to-face or in a hold down, like you can see. So you can penetrate it fairly easily. At least I was testing this mostly with another YOH. However, I have a feeling that would be easy with most tanks. You can penetrate the cheeks or the side of the turret in some cases. However, it can be very, very weird, and a lot of times you will bounce, especially if they're wiggling their turret around. So definitely, if you're in a face hug or in hold down, shoot the hatch. It's going to be so much easier to get at than the side or the side of the turret, which is wiggling all the time. So that is the main thing to keep in mind. Of course, if you are in the back, you could try some HE, and also the front plate, both upper and lower, are also fairly weak. You can see again, with the turret, we are getting a lot of bounces. That's not me purposely trying to bounce. It is just very awkward armor to try to penetrate. So next, we have the Mark 3 YOH, as you will see in a moment. I believe I might show one more bounce here. But you can see it just becomes super hard. There we go. We've got the Mark 3 YOH coming up. This was in a comparison with the T-32, another Tier 8 American heavy tank. So you can see there, again, the front plate is relatively weak. However, that turret is quite strong. With the T-32, I did not have quite enough HE penetration to get into the back. It almost looks like you can. However, you can see if we shoot even into that box area, that no HE damage, or some HE damage, but not full HE damage. And you can see, again, even if we try for this other spot that looks like maybe, no, it doesn't give full damage. So beware if you're running a lower alpha gun or a lower penetration gun, it's not going to go in as easily. So most tanks, or at least a lot of tanks, will be able to HE these. However, do note that not every tank can do so. So also, when you switch to standard rounds with, I assume, every tank, I know this is an armor inspector, I just wanted to show the tanks for what they actually are here, showing them in battle specifically. So you can see the back of the turret is quite weak when going against standard rounds and not HE. You can see in the top corners of the upper plate it is red, and you can go to APCR. Don't aim too high up in that corner though, because you will bounce, as you just saw right there. And also, if you get a little bit closer and aim just a little bit better, you can actually penetrate that with APCR. However, it would always be best to get some AP rounds in there. Now you can see the cheek can again be penned. However, it is a very difficult task, and again, I would highly recommend going for the hatch on the top there. My suggestion for the tank, it looks very much like a good face-to-face tank when you're able to hide that hatch in any way. Next, we've got the T-49 in comparison to it. Again, it is, because due to the T-49's less penetration, it's going to have a harder time getting it frontally. However, as you will see in a moment, HE, when it comes to the back of YOHs, is very easy for the T-49. You can see even with that tier 7 that I have randomly had in there, you can HE most of the back of these YOHs because of the high damage HE here, or the high penetration HE. Same would go for the ISU. You can see there's a tiny weak spot when going against the tier 7. However, I don't know why you would aim there versus aiming at the big back, which is more likely to set a fire, to be honest. You can see there are a lot of HE, a lot of potential HE spots. You can see even the back of the turret when running the T-49 or the ISU-152, and possibly the SU-152 probably. So you can penetrate it. Now we've got the tier 9. Again, this is a comparison with the M103. You can see the top plate there is quite good. You can see I did penetrate, however, that was cutting it a little bit close. So the frontal armor for this one, as you can see when I switch between rounds, it's it's not the highest amount of armor, however, it is going to give you a lot of crazy bounces, as you can see in the corners there. Depending on the angle I'm at, it'll actually give more armor, so be careful. The front is going to be very, very awkward to penetrate. It can be done, especially with APCR or heat. However, just make sure to aim your shells well, as any kind of angle on this thing really just makes the armor quite hard to penetrate. You can see there, it almost looks like we can get the bottom there. However, as you will see, I can shoot and it's going to be a bounce. Now, one thing that makes the YOH, the Tier 9 and Tier 10 very interesting is they have a special track system. Oh, by the way, for any person weirdly doing that, yeah, don't shoot under it does that too. But like I was saying, oh, sorry, we've got the HE first, never mind. You can see here, you can HE the back with the M103, as well you can HE the turret. And I believe that now takes us into the special track system. So normally when you break a track, you have to fix it and then move. However, that's not the case with the YOHs. You can break a track, as you can clearly see here. However, the tank manages to pull back, grinding its gears like crazy. I think this is really broken. It kind of defeats the purpose of tracks. Here it is again. It just makes it so that tracks don't do what they were supposed to do. Well, they're doing more than they should be. Also, to those curious what happens when you shoot both tracks, we tried that. I had a teammate shoot a track, and then I shot a track. Both tracks, as you can see, are broken. However, the tank is still pulling backwards, which is incredibly, incredibly broken. Now, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but that is definitely a problem. Here it is again. It can just pull back no matter how many tracks it's broken, which is absolutely crazy. And next we've got the Mark 6 YOH, which is the Tier 7 to the the Tier 8, to the series. You can see lower penetration is going to be a little bit harder on the top of the front plate like that. So the upper plate is going to be quite strong. It can be penetrated when you have some fairly decent penetration values, as you can see here. There are some tiny little sides that you can shoot. However, if you're in a position like that, definitely go for the lower plate. It's much bigger. You can see here, this I think was a graphical bug on my end, but if you do see this, don't shoot there, or at least if you were in an FE-183 running HESH, you might be able to shoot that in there. But if you see a weird patch like that on the Sheridan, I think that's just a graphical bug, and it does not give you full HE damage, as you can see. I even tried this 3 times trying to figure out why it looked like that, and however, I think it's either spaced armor or, like I said, a graphical bug on my end. So, also, fun fact, in a moment here, there you go, you can see again, yeah, I'm about to shoot and it's not going to give me full HE damage. And fun fact, if you're shooting HE at the YOH, especially in the back, oh, there you go, you can see it got patched for whatever reason. But anyway, fun fact, if you shoot the back of a YOH with HE, it's actually quite easy to set on fire. Also, you can see here we can HE the hatch to the YOH quite effectively. However, I would definitely recommend, if you're in a position like that, to try to get the back of the turret instead. And you can see here, even the bottom there gets full HE damage, or at least that was a very low roll. And as I was saying, you can see here, quite easy to set on fire. At least from what testing I did, you can see I even did it with a mouse. It seems that it's very weak back there if HE gets in. However, this may not be the case all the time. Now with the comparison in the mouse, which has better AP penetration values and is a slightly lower alpha gun, you can see here with HE, you can't really get at the sides. And again, if you're using normal rounds or APCR, you can penetrate the cheeks like that. However, again, definitely go for the hatches, as they are much easier to get at, especially when close like this. If there's pink, even just slight pink, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to bounce because of how angled it is. So definitely go for those hatches. Now, an interesting bug, or at least I assume this is a bug. You can see I'm running a Sheridan again, and there is the gun holder, or the turret mount, and there, full HE damage right through there. I would have thought for sure that that was spaced armor, but I guess not. You can see I even aim up just a little bit higher, and it's still giving me full damage, so I have no idea what's going on there, but there's a little secret to you guys. Be sure to shoot that if possible, or if that's the only place, and then you can see there's the mouse, and it couldn't do it. So that seems to be something mostly that the Sheridan or something with a higher penetration HE gun could do. But do keep in mind, if that looks like it can be penned with HE, at least for this current update 8.0, it looks like you can actually penetrate it for full HE damage. So there you go. That is a review on the YOH series. Of course, we've got the Tier 7 Mark 7 YOH, the Tier 8 Mark 3 YOH, the Tier 9 Mark 5 YOH, and the Tier 10 Mark 6 YOH. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I also want to give a quick credit to those that helped me in the training room. They are Zachary, the COD Gamer, Zephy V7, Crazy Train 20,021, and I think that's Malky Heyman. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but big thanks to them for helping me in the training room. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.